Logan Paul stepping into the ring with CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship sounds like something straight out of a fever dream, but here we are in professional wrestling where anything can happen and usually does. Before you click away, make sure you hit that subscribe button because you're about to dive into one of the most controversial debates in wrestling today, and trust me, you'll want to stick around for every second of this. The question isn't really about whether Logan Paul could physically compete with CM Punk, because let's be honest, the guy has proven he can actually wrestle. When Logan Paul first announced he was getting into professional wrestling, the entire wrestling community rolled their eyes so hard they could see their own brain cells dying. Another celebrity trying to cash in on wrestling's popularity without putting in the work, right? Wrong. Dead wrong. Logan showed up at WrestleMania and didn't just participate, he delivered performances that made veteran wrestlers take notice. His match against The Miz was solid, his bout with Roman Reigns was legitimately impressive, and his feud with Seth Rollins proved he wasn't just some YouTube star playing dress-up. But here's where things get complicated, and this is where the wrestling purists start sharpening their pitchforks. CM Punk is not just any wrestler. This is a man who walked away from wrestling at the height of his career because he was burned out and disrespected by the industry he helped revolutionize. Punk spent years in the wilderness, trying his hand at other ventures, before making his shocking return to wrestling. His comeback wasn't just about money or fame, it was about unfinished business and proving he still had something left in the tank. When Punk holds that World Heavyweight Championship, it represents decades of grinding, suffering, and dedication to a craft that chewed him up and spit him out before he came back for more. Logan Paul has been in professional wrestling for barely a fraction of the time Punk has spent lacing up his boots. While Punk was wrestling in bingo halls and high school gymnasiums for gas money and hot dogs, Logan was making viral videos and building an empire on social media. That's not a knock against Logan's hustle, but it does raise legitimate questions about whether he's earned the right to stand across the ring from someone like CM Punk with a world title on the line. Wrestling has always had this weird relationship with celebrity involvement. Sometimes it works brilliantly, like when Mike Tyson showed up at WrestleMania or when Bad Bunny stole the show with his incredible athleticism and respect for the business. Other times it feels like a slap in the face to everyone who dedicated their entire lives to this art form. The argument for Logan Paul getting this shot is actually stronger than most people want to admit. In terms of drawing power, Logan brings eyeballs. Millions of them. His fanbase spans across multiple platforms and demographics that traditional wrestling programming struggles to reach. When Logan Paul is advertised for a show, ticket sales spike, social media engagement explodes, and suddenly people who haven't watched wrestling in years or have never watched it at all are tuning in. From a business perspective, this match makes perfect sense. Wrestling is entertainment, and entertainment is a business, and businesses need to make money to survive. Logan Paul vs. CM Punk would generate mainstream attention that most wrestling matches could only dream of achieving. But wrestling isn't just a business, and this is where the emotional core of this debate lies. Wrestling is a culture, a community, a family that takes care of its own and respects the journey each performer takes to reach the top. There are guys and girls in locker rooms around the world who have sacrificed everything for a chance to even sniff a world title opportunity. They've worked injured, they've missed birthdays and weddings and funerals, they've destroyed their bodies and their relationships, all for the love of this crazy business. Then here comes Logan Paul, who can buy and sell most wrestlers 10 times over, waltzing into a championship match because he's famous and brings followers. You can understand why that might sting a little. CM Punk himself has always been the voice of the voiceless, the guy who called out the system and fought for the wrestlers who couldn't fight for themselves. Punk's entire character and career has been built on merit, on earning your spot through blood, sweat, and tears rather than politics and connections. Having him defend his championship against someone who some view as a shortcut to the top feels almost ironic, like the universe playing a cosmic joke on everything Punk represents. Yet there's another layer to consider here. Punk is also a smart businessman and a master storyteller. He knows that a feud with Logan Paul would be massive, would create compelling television, and would give him a platform to tell the exact story about earning your place that has defined his career. The wrestling landscape has changed dramatically over the years. It used to be that you paid your dues in the territories, worked your way up through the ranks, and maybe, just maybe, if you were talented and lucky and tough enough, you'd get your shot at the big time. Now the path to wrestling stardom looks different for different people. Some still take the traditional route, grinding it out on the independent scene. Others come from amateur wrestling backgrounds or other combat sports. And yes, some leverage their existing fame from other platforms to skip ahead in line. Is that fair? Probably not. Is it the reality of modern entertainment? Absolutely. Logan Paul has actually shown more respect for wrestling than many celebrities who have dabbled in it. He's taken bumps that would make grown men cry. He's studied the craft, worked with legends to improve his skills, and hasn't relied solely on his celebrity status to carry his matches. His moveset is diverse, his storytelling in the ring has improved with each appearance, and he genuinely seems to care about putting on good performances rather than just cashing checks. That counts for something, even if it doesn't erase the fact that he got opportunities in months that take others decades to achieve. The CM Punk factor adds another dimension because Punk himself was once the outsider, the guy who didn't look like a traditional world champion, who was told he'd never make it to the top because he didn't fit the mold. Punk fought against that system and won, becoming one of the most influential wrestlers of his generation. Now he's the established champion, the gatekeeper, and Logan Paul is the outsider trying to break through. There's a poetry to that dynamic that could make for incredible storytelling if handled correctly. Punk could be the final test for Logan, the measuring stick that proves whether he's a real wrestler or just a celebrity playing pretend. But here's the thing that makes this whole debate so fascinating and frustrating at the same time. Professional wrestling has never been about pure meritocracy. It's always been about who draws money, who connects with the audience, who the bookers believe in, and who gets lucky at the right moment. Legends were held down while less talented but better connected performers got pushed to the moon. Incredible workers toiled in mid-card obscurity while charismatic but limited wrestlers main event WrestleMania. Wrestling rewards entertainment value and drawing power as much or more than pure wrestling ability, and it always has. So maybe Logan Paul getting a championship shot isn't really that different from how the business has always operated, it's just more visible and obvious now because of his celebrity status. The question of whether Logan deserves this shot ultimately depends on what you value in professional wrestling. If you value entertainment, mainstream attention, and business success, then absolutely Logan Paul versus CM Punk makes sense. It would be a spectacle, a moment, an event that transcends wrestling and enters the broader cultural conversation. If you value tradition, paying dues, and respecting the journey that generations of wrestlers have taken to reach championship level, then Logan Paul hasn't earned it yet, regardless of how talented he might be. Both perspectives are valid, and neither is wrong. What makes this potential match so compelling is that CM Punk could tell both stories simultaneously. He could acknowledge Logan's talent and drawing power while also calling out the shortcut he took to get there. Punk could be both the veteran champion who respects anyone willing to step in the ring and the gatekeeper who refuses to let someone hold the most important title in the company without truly earning it. The promos would be fire, the build would be intense, and the match itself would carry genuine emotional weight because both men would be fighting to prove something. Logan would be fighting to prove he belongs at this level, and Punk would be fighting to prove that championship still means something in an era where fame seems to matter more than skill. Whether Logan Paul deserves a shot at CM Punk's World Heavyweight Championship isn't really a question with a simple answer. Wrestling exists in this strange space where legitimate athletic competition meets scripted entertainment, where business decisions clash with artistic integrity, where tradition battles innovation. Logan Paul represents the future of wrestling whether we like it or not, a future where the lines between different forms of entertainment blur and social media stars can become legitimate performers. CM Punk represents the past and present, the idea that wrestling is special, that it means something, that it should be protected and respected by those who participate in it. If this match happens, and honestly it probably will because wrestling can rarely resist this kind of attention, it needs to mean something beyond just a celebrity grabbing headlines. Logan Paul needs to walk into that match knowing that he's not just facing CM Punk but facing the judgment of an entire wrestling community watching to see if he truly respects what that championship represents. Punk needs to deliver the kind of performance that reminds everyone why he's CM Punk, why he matters, why he came back, and why that title means everything to him. Done right, this match could be a bridge between two eras of wrestling, a way to honor the past while embracing the future. Done wrong, it's just another celebrity moment that cheapens what makes wrestling special. The beauty of wrestling is that it can contain all these contradictions and somehow make them work. Logan Paul can be both an outsider who hasn't paid his dues and a talented performer who delivers when it matters. CM Punk can be both a defender of wrestling tradition and a pragmatic entertainer who understands business. Wrestling is big enough for both perspectives, and maybe that's the real answer here. Does Logan Paul deserve this shot? That depends on who you ask and what you value. Will the match be worth watching? Absolutely. Will it generate conversation and controversy and attention? Without question. And in the end, isn't that what professional wrestling has always been about? Make sure you subscribe to catch all the latest wrestling debates, controversies, and moments that keep this incredible industry moving forward, because whether you love it or hate it, wrestling never stops giving us something to talk about.